concept, there was never any memorial to D-Day. There's a World War II memorial in D.C. that has actually been built fairly recently. But it's his idea. He originally wanted to put it in Roanoke, put it on top of Mill Mountain. They didn't step up, so to make a long story short, Bedford said, we've got a lot of land out here, and why don't we put it here? So he started the foundation. This is a private foundation. It's not, we don't get any federal dollars. So this is, we'll walk around this way. We're going to walk around this way. There's really three phases to the memorial. There's the planning phase, which was done in southern England. There's the actual invasion and the attack, which is the second phase, and then the liberation of Fortress Europe, the actual liberation. You see the thing that everybody sees is the Overlord model of Arc de Triomphe, at the top, which you see a lot of pictures of troops walking through the Arc de Triomphe in Paris and liberating France and essentially liberating Fortress Europe. Another 50 were wounded. Only 15 of 170 soldiers were able to continue to fight. The names of in Bedford proper were 35 soldiers from Bedford itself, just the town of Bedford. About 19 of them died on D-Day. 19 at Omaha Beach. 19 of them died. Their names are on the far side. People who want to specifically identify those who did. And when D-Day actually was even earlier than that, went over by ship. This is referred to as an English folly, which is a house, part of a house that was requisitioned by Eisenhower and his staff, the Southwick House in southern England. That's where all the planning preparation was done. And the statues you see are Eisenhower staff. Eisenhower was commissioned a 4-star general in January of 1944, and he became the Supreme Allied Commander of the Supreme Headquarters of the Allied Expeditionary Force, which is what the patch is called, the shaped patch. That's HAEF, Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force. Let's walk down this way, and then we'll look back up towards these are, I don't want to go into we have over 400 plaques in this memorial, and obviously we don't have time to spend looking at every individual plaque, but Omar Bradley, for example, he was the last 5-star general. He died in one of the ground commanders for Eisenhower staff. We had 2 Americans on his staff.
Omar Nelson Bradley.
D-Day. He's in charge of all the naval forces. This is 5,000 ships. Doing everything from bombarding the coast to soften the fortifications before the attack, and also providing transportation for the troops to get to shore where they could.
That one over there, Bradley, he was the one that was like in the movie. You know, he was Patton's friend that would come from time to time.
Yeah.
With the glasses.
It's a good look right there for the plaque. For those of you who are fanatic with World War II, you could pause and read it. Arthur William Tedder. He definitely tells he's British because of the pipe.
General Patton, if you remember a particular incident he was involved in when he was in Italy, is that he was a real stern disciplinarian. He slapped a soldier, actually slapped 2 soldiers. And he got in trouble for doing that. So he was basically demoted here and not given a large role in the D-Day invasion. But he was in charge of the what's called the imitation attack, the fake attack, where they put a lot of fake tanks, fake to make the Germans think we were going to attack them on a different place in France than we ended up attacking. things about
Legally bound.
Eisenhower.
Get out of my way.
If you notice the picture, any of those see the
This is one of the very few men that actually deserves a really big statue.
young lieutenant, Green Palmer,
He's one of my favorite generals.
paratrooper, who's going to be landed behind the lines in D-Day. He's actually talking to this young lieutenant, and you would think he'd be talking about, you know, the war and kind of instilling a sense of pride and courage. And actually, what he was talking about was fly fishing in Michigan. They just got into a discussion. This guy was from Michigan. He said, "Well, I've been to Eisenhower said I've been to Michigan several times, and I really enjoyed my fly fishing." They went back and forth. So it's a great picture. You'll see it if you ever do any historical search at all. Eisenhower talking to this young lieutenant. The map on the wall is a map, the actual map of the invasion. Interesting story about this map. Not this one, but the one, this replica. It was actually made, commissioned by Eisenhower. They commissioned a toy company.
This is Eisenhower.
Because it was made like a jigsaw puzzle. The reason being, why would you think he'd make it a jigsaw puzzle? He didn't want any one person to see what the invasion battle map looked like.
You can see
So
that.
it was
That's
made in
the
pieces,
map
and it was actually
of
carried to
D-Day.
Southwick House where they did the planning, put together
Looks
by two
pretty
workmen
complicated.
who had to stay in the facility
Wow.
until the actual invasion took place because they didn't want to keep because they were the only ones that had information of the battle map.
Operation Fortitude. Supremo, like, commander.
If you want to come back and read some. Bonnie Montgomery is
Wow. This is a good shot right here.
universally not liked, arrogant, self-serving.
Nice.
In the attack on Omaha Beach, these are the units that attacked Omaha Beach. And you can spend as much time, you can spend half a day reading all these flags about these 29th Infantry encompassed, I think, it troops all the way up to New York, Maryland, D.C. You can sort of pick let's move up in
Omaha Beach V-Day landing sites of the 116th Infantry Regiment. And then all these plaques. Apparently the tour guide says you take half a day reading them all. But we're not going to do that because that'll be a long video, including this one.
The strands themselves are the shipping lanes that represent just where the ships cleared landmines. There was something like 6 million mines that had been placed along the shore. Many other obstacles in charge. General Marshal Rommel, interesting enough, he wasn't even on site during D-Day. He had gone back to visit his wife in Germany and was meeting with him on the attack. So let's, this is necrology, what I call a wall, necrology wall. These are all of the U.S. Servicemen who lost their lives on D-Day. There's 2,499 of them. These are all our allies, the other 11 nations that participated. And what is what our association did here a lot of them were lost and never recovered. A lot of them never recovered. Their names are always, that's why it took us about 7 years. So the attack again started Omaha at 6:30 in the morning.
So each of these stones represents like
Was to attack
each beach right here.
low tide,
Wow.
presented
Totals of 5.
presented a problem. At low tide, you could see more of the mines and the obstacles, the hedgehogs and the other obstacles that are in the water. However, it means you needed to cross more of the beach to get there. So we're going to walk up and I'll show you. This is one of the landing craft.
pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Am I on YouTube?
I'm gonna make this an individual video as soon as we get back home. These are all live sacrifice to all the other countries.
Ugh.
France, Great Britain, Australia.
Yeah, this is the first time.
All these countries not even heard about. Keep it up. It's cold. Whoa.
This is the first vlog you've ever done.
Oh, I think that's Jamaica over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Underwater carriage and could travel, could carry about 36 soldiers, or could carry about 12 soldiers in the Jeep landing. It was made of plywood and had a metal front on it, but the vessel itself was actually made of plywood, and it was taken ashore. The front ramp would be dropped. The 36 soldiers, if that work goes on, would be the attacking force coming out. They had a lot of problems. See, this is called hedgehog here. I'm sorry, again, in the summertime, this water will cover all of this. And what you'll see is where these little things are like gunshots. You get in the water, it'll be a barrage of gunshot, and the water will be all representing a fallen soldier, and then there's one on, maybe we can see better on this side over here. But again, what the Germans did is they put mines actually on, this is a hedgehog here. It's something that would rip out the bottom of a boat when it came ashore, and a lot of times it would, if you were, each soldier was carrying somewhere between 80 and 90 pounds of equipment on his back, depending on what particular position he held in the unit. And a lot of the bombs were ripped out of boats. The boats would then sink. He'd be over his head in water, and a lot of them drowned because they couldn't get out of their pack quick enough, or they inflated their vest, and because they inflated their vest, they would be end up being upside down and would drown. But the soldiers themselves will represent the attacking force. There's a medic helping a soldier up there. This represents the
There's a soldier over there in the water.
Would be in the summertime water.
Going up the sand, obviously represents soil, sand. One last thing I'll say about this, the concrete, you see there's concrete. These are actually
Oh yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, the wind right now. It's really cold.
Think about it, guys, coming out of that water, going across that open sand, attacking that big, like six, it's quite. Gotta wonder how they did it. The wall there is about 6 feet high. It represents an area of Omaha Beach. They ended up taking
Put
the
my
wall,
hood up.
securing the force, and then moving forward from there. Let's walk across the bridge.
Let's do the next clip.
Got it. The bell was on the loan from the Mariner Museum, and the anchor, Danforth anchor, is on loan from Newport News Naval Shipyard.
There's the anchor over there. You can see it.
Because the weather was so bad, even on D-Day, they originally planned on going on the 5th of June. The weather was so bad they couldn't go. So they ended up decided to go on the 6th of June. The weather was still bad. The invasion forces anticipated that between the naval bombardment and the air cover, the air happened is they missed an awful lot of the naval bombardment was too short. The Air Force could not see the targets, so they ended up missing an awful lot of their assigned targets. And so the force was more formidable than they expected. It was not as softened as they expected. During the battle itself, the Navy was, I'm not a Navy guy, I'm an Army guy, but some of these ships came up well within what they were instructed to come, when they're up to 800 meters close to the beach, to provide close support for the invading forces after they were already on the land. Some of them were even touching the bottom of the sand because they were so close.
USS Texas over there. Nevada, Augusta, Williams Reserve. Leaf passing by the bridge.
This is a cascading waterfall in the summertime. The weather's warm, this is all, and then that ocean is full there up to the beach line.
Well, you guys gotta come back in the summer.
Yes, that's true. Some visitors during viewing the 20-foot tall bronze relief mounted on the wall below the Overlord very much suppose that the sculpture pays particular tribute to the members of the 2nd Ranger Battalion who ascended the cliffs at the Pointe du Lac. Such a conclusion, though, or the reason why it itself fails to acknowledge the pieces of broader and eventually which sculpture Jim Brothers establishes with its title. Scaling the Wall, this dramatic grouping, if visually linked with the Rangers' inspiring deeds at Pointe du Lac, my French is terrible, is figuratively connected to the Allied forces. No less inspiring, surmounting of Adolf Hitler's a pregnant fortress Europe, collectively and on behalf of all the participants in D-Day. June 6, 1944, the 4 figures portrayed here strikingly personally the hallmark qualities of valor, fidelity, and sacrifice, qualities that both characterizes the D-Day story and inform this monument.
This represents an aircraft called a Grasshopper. It was a spotter. This thing flew about a football field off the ground, and it was made of cloth. It had a really small engine, and it was used as a spotter aircraft. They would try to spot the enemy, mark the enemy, so that you could bring fire on. You notice the stripes. That was put on every aircraft. The white, black routine. You'd be able to distinguish our aircraft from the Luftwaffe or the German aircraft. It took a lot of nerve to fly one of these aircraft. They had an awful lot of casualties just because of the planes being shot down. And they had to fly low because, like when I was in Vietnam, you traveled by helicopter. You always flew what they call nap of the earth, which was basically ground level. They couldn't train their weapon on you if you're going by that fast. You're up a couple hundred feet or 1,000 feet. It's a slower moving target. Focus your aim, but a lot of, because it was so thin, the aircraft was made out of, a lot of pilots would sit on the helmet because they wouldn't be shot in the butt. Okay, we can head up top. It's going to be windy up there, so we won't stay long.
Good. Here's some more plaques. There's like 200 of these in the entire memorial.
Overlord is a feudal word meaning
Looks like he finally went on top to see this. Overlord. It looks like that's the memorial the tour guide was talking about. And he's cold. Go behind the really big arch. Yeah. There you go.
See, Steven, there's a reason we're trying to build a wall.
That is really cool.
It's impressive when you get to see it. You always pick up. Every time I come here, I pick up something nice.
Yeah, let's go up here. But just the view is excellent.
You have to see the view.
Huh.
Take a look at all these American flags.
For those of you who don't know my face, you might see it from here.
See my face already.
Oh yeah. They've already seen it. Flags. Oh, this looks cool.
Gold wedding band on his skin. There was a story about, and I don't know if it's true or not, I was told this, that a guy found a soldier, had the ring of a soldier who died on D-Day, and tried for years and years and years to locate the soldier with the ring back. So the wife of the soldier with the ring back. And ended up sending the ring to a sculptor here. Sculptor put it on. I don't know if that's a true story or what. Looks like a real ring to me.
All these flags over here.
Yeah, these are tribute flags.
Kind of. Oh, there's even writing on these tributes. Gary Lee Perry, U.S. Army. We salute you.
Oh yeah, the name.
That statue's great. If you want to walk all the way down to the statue there, it's one that's
Yeah, because let's go to the
an
statue.
interesting statue to look at.
Huh. Okay.
Why is it so much?
Let's check it out. Here. Now, before we do anything, look at all these bricks here. There must be names for everyone who have fought for their country.
Sitting in the town square in this little town in France, and at some point in time during the war, a shell, an American shell, they think, had gone, destroyed the face of the monument. And they didn't, instead of tearing it down or redoing it or repairing it, they left it there as a reminder of the horrors of war. And they got together with the D-Day Memorial people. This is an exact replica of the one sitting in this city, in a town in France.
Probably like better before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Looks like.
Big flagpole there.
making that up because I have no idea what it is.
There's some other statues we need to check out over here.
And these lights are amazing. So,
Yeah.
They're probably like the guys that were involved. Well, when the wind stops, it's not
I know, right? The one.
Wow, this is really cool. Okay, let's check out this statue here. Ah, this is Truman. If you guys don't know, this is the guy who ordered, you know, the bombs at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan.
Cool. Let's keep walking.
Yeah, good idea, Steven.
We're taking it off, taking it.
Look how cool the stone is.
Putting his glove back on.
Like
He
red.
lost a finger and a half.
Okay, dedicated to all men and women wounded in all of our wars.
I'm wearing
No.
Did you know?
You get the Purple Heart. If you get wounded, you get that medal, the Purple Heart. That's the medal you don't.
Yeah.
What if like it's just a flesh?
And placed by the military order
get the
of the
Purple Heart?
people. Hang on,
For
guys.
Can I get the
example,
purple heart?
both of Josh's grandfathers
My
were in
stone.
World War II. His mother's father, called Pappy, the one I spent a good amount of time with because that was his. He got injured
No,
twice.
you didn't go to
He
war,
was an
pal.
infantryman.
Am I
He
staying
saw
in the car?
horrible
Nope.
battles. His unit was decimated. He went in as a private, which is the lowest rank.
Mm-hmm.
And during the war, he became the first sergeant, which is the highest rank in the company.
In the next couple of minutes, you know, my dad is telling a story where, he's talking about his best friend's grandfathers, getting injured during World War II, but unfortunately the wind was getting really ridiculous and we couldn't hear most of the story of one of them. So the main story you want to hear is about my dad's friend who is who had a grandfather who fought in World War II, and he got injured by the hand by grabbing a bayonet from a Nazi's weapon, grabbing it by his hand, and apparently, you know, Pappy didn't finish the story because, you know, he everyone know what happened, and then you know, they said, well, what happened, Pappy? And then he just stopped the story. Yeah.
And
We all know what basically happened, but we don't have the details.
he got a whole bunch of shrapnel in his leg and in his butt.
Oh man.
And that actually sent him home.
Uh-huh.
That sent him back to the States. He never got a Purple Heart. He never got a Purple Heart. You have to be put in for those medals. And you know, so much chaos, so much death, so many of, you know, the officers, they couldn't keep track of everything. Who knows, maybe an officer is going to put you in for a Purple Heart, he forgets about it, or he gets killed, or...
Whoa,
And
Nico.
his other grandfather, who, he was like a supply guy, he never went into battle, he was always in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There was an artillery piece
So
that
the
went
people
off
looking
in
at,
his
like,
area,
Cool.
and some of the guys there got
That's
injured. He didn't
cool.
even really get injured, he just was in the area. It might have maybe knocked him over, and he got a Purple Heart.
Oh.
You just never know how, especially, I gotta tell you, in the military, it's
Yeah.
even in peacetime.
Hashtag
In the
don't get
slaughter of World War II,
For those of you military guys, don't get.
Hashtag don't get a purple heart. Hashtag military people.
Yeah.
don't strive for a Purple Heart. You want the enemy to get a Purple Heart or whatever.
I don't want to get a heart.
Yep.
Unless you had this.
So it says here,
As they
Daddy.
say, the members of the 82nd Airport Division go to any lengths to ensure that the enemy is able to give his life for his country. Yes.
Really interesting dedication towards that story. Now let's go see that last statue right here. And this belongs to Clement Richard
Yeah, this is the National
Alty.
D-Day.
This is where people go for D-Day.
So this looks like,
Important military events in world history.
confused.
This looks like the Prime Minister after
That's
Churchill,
a little bit
right
underground.
here.
Cool statue.
Yeah, well, this is a private thing.
Let's keep on
It's
walking.
actually pretty impressive. This is not
So,
Yeah,
government funded.
Truman here.
and this guy here is probably the most forgotten figures in history.
He means
During
behind
World War
you
II.
guys because
Yeah,
he just pointed.
yeah, and with Truman. Well, this guy apparently was the
Just
Prime
like
Minister
that's how
after
they-
Churchill.
Be-
Okay,
Just so
guys.
You guys won't be confused.
Yeah,
Let's just keep on walking.
yeah. Okay, I think that is it for the tour and, you know, the video of this memorial. So, what do you say, Steven?
We might do some more stuff in our hotel later today. Or
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think we're gonna make a video with our friends, maybe,
Yeah.
if we could convince them.
Yeah.
Okay,
maybe,
guys.
Like, play some rafting.
I know this is a completely different video, but thanks for watching. I'm talking to them. Thank you guys for watching. This is probably a completely different
And if
video than
you
you're used
didn't
to.
know,
And make sure to like, comment,
Shut up
subscribe,
your
and
face.
share this video.
Shut on your face.
And no, I'm not gonna show my face. I gave him a hint already. I'll go reveal it later.
Okay.
And this is absolutely beautiful. Like right up in the mountains and all that.
The person to the right is
Okay?
Show that thing with the
and the
mountain.
person to the left.
Yeah.
And the person to
So-
the left is Nathaniel.
Uh-huh.
And you haven't seen
I
him before.
see it. They know.
Well, I didn't hear you.
Okay, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. And, you know, also check out my Twitter. I'm gonna put some stuff up there later. But
Yeah.
really, this video is probably gonna be out around Saturday, I guess. If I do everything correctly.
And then
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And God bless. Goodbye.